I wouldn't have guessed that you could make a perfect sphere by using 3 spinning cups. But I assumed it would require some highly calibrated machine. Maybe that's why sphere machines cost thousands of dollars. But then I stumbled across a video that kind of blew my mind. Shout out to the Pebble-ology channel. This man clearly knows how to make spheres, and uses such a bare-bones machine that it's ingenious. So I got inspired to build one myself. And if you get inspired to make cool rock balls too, I'll show you how I did it. So this is my understanding of how this thing needs to work. Number 1, 3 variable speed motors. Because I know from stone carving that polishing has to be done a lot slower than grinding. A drill seems like a good choice because it has a chuck to hold whatever you want. Number 2, they need to be equally spaced apart or the ball will fall off. I want that to be adjustable though, so I can use different size bits and make different size spheres. Number 3, the rest should be easy. An elastic tension method to keep consistent contact against the sphere, a water drip feed for lubrication, and a collection bowl. I bought the cheapest drills I could find, which happened to be hammer drills, but that shouldn't really matter. First, I'll need to mount these drills onto a mount. I'm just using a piece of 2x4 with a half circle cut out to fit the shape of the drill. Then I'll use a pipe clamp to strap the drill in place. I'll put up a little diagram of the important measurements at the end, so don't worry about taking notes. Please do me a solid by hitting that like button, and subscribe if you'd like to see more. This was by far the hardest part for me because it involves 7th grade math. Basically, I'm making an equilateral triangle the hard way. If all 3 sides are the same length, you can't not make an equilateral triangle. Mark the midpoints and connect them, and you have the center. I had to take the miter saw away from myself. It was really hot out and I was getting crazy. Quick note, you could actually just start here if you wanted to. It's just 3 boards, 120 degrees apart. To allow for the spacing of the drills to be adjustable, I'm using some square steel tubing. One of my goals is to avoid doing any welding on this project. I'll cut some slots into the steel tubing that will allow the motor mounts to slide back and forth. I'll screw some door hinges onto the motor mounts to allow the tensioning system to do its job. Then attach them to the square tubing with carriage bolts that fit inside the slots. I'm using some petroleum jelly to help things slide more smoothly. It's time to take this bad boy for a spin. At this point I don't actually have any polishing cups or bits, so I'm using some old kendama parts. It's a fun activity. I tried multiple methods to control the drill speeds, but the switches are just really unreliable. These are just some adjustable bungee cords. I'll later attach one between each drill. But aside from the speed issue, I think this machine works. So while I wait for some cheap hole saw bits to arrive, which hopefully will work, I'm using the rest of my kendama parts to make polishing cups. I don't think wood is ideal, but I like to try what I have before buying stuff. But I did buy some new speed switches for the drills. I just couldn't deal with them randomly changing speeds all the time. This is a 40mm hole saw bit. I'm going to try to make the biggest sphere I think this size bit can handle. A trial by fire. I added some dish soap to the water, because it's been beneficial with stone polishing in the past. Certainly made things a bit messier. So the grinding smooth part took about 2, maybe 2.5 hours. In the future, I'll put more effort into making the rock more ball-shaped before putting it on the machine. But it honestly felt like the polishing part flew by. I'd say maybe 1 hour. Overall, this was an awesome project. I can't wait to make some more spheres. Again, shout out to Pebble-ology and to everyone else who makes their own contraptions. Love to hear from you guys. Drop a comment.